I know what you're thinking, and no, this title was not clickbait. 48% of people who voted on this poll that I posted on my community tabs do in fact state that America should support Iran over Israel, and I'm going to cover those results as well as read some of the comments that came in under that poll right now on American Advocates. All right, so this right here was the poll that I put up. The Israel and Iran situation is complex and intense. What should Trump and America do? Help Israel at all costs, stay out of it entirely, or help Iran? Israel is corrupt. And as you can see, yes, 48% out of the over 1,500 votes that came in on this small channel wound up voting in favor of helping Iran, labeling Israel as corrupt. It was shocking to me. In fact, that number was actually much higher. Even just yesterday when I checked it, it was at 58%. And 2 days ago when I looked, it was sky high at 76%. So as more votes have come in, the number has lowered down, but it still significantly has outperformed the other two poll results. I personally expected on this poll one of the first two results to be the most popular. And I think the first two results are the most practical, either one, depending on which generation you're from. Because the bottom line is when it comes to Israel, support for that entire nation and that country is generational. Boomers and I would say most Gen Xers most likely are in favor of supporting Israel at all costs. When it comes to millennials and Gen Z, there is very much a real Middle East fatigue that's going on across America because us young generations grew up with the Afghanistan and Iraq war, and we grew up watching it be this ineffective, unnecessarily prolonged, disastrous war that wound up ending with no real victory for America, and that's become all too common when it comes to wars in America. The last real war that America won with the help of allies was World War II, and that's not to discount the service of any of the soldiers who fought in all the other wars after that. We appreciate your service here on American Advocates, but the bottom line is this: America has maintained its firm foothold in all kinds of foreign affairs, and I think at some point we have to look at it as a detriment to the well-being of our country. There's so much going on in America right now that young generations like millennials and Gen Zers look at this Israel and Iran conflict and we just think, I don't want anything to do with it. And so that was my thought process behind the poll. But let's take a look at some of the comments that were left under this poll and see what people are not only voting, but how they're typing and what they're saying. Starting with the first comment here, who the heck would help Iran? 74%. Didn't see that coming. Well, Don Anders, VHU, I'm happy to report that that number is down to 48%, but it still received the majority of the votes. Glad to see comments like this after checking out the poll. Who the heck would say we need to help Iran? I was shocked too. I'm not quite sure what happened. I hope the ones that voted to help Iran actually live there. Just read what Iran wants to do to you. This is very true, this comment right here. The very fact of the matter is, Iran definitely hates not only Israel, but America as well. For many of you who may not know this, Iran refers to Israel as the little Satan, but there's another one that they refer to America as, and that's the big Satan. They are not fans of us at all, and that's why what's happening right now is all formulated on the hypothesis that Iran was getting closer and closer to nuclear power. There are those who look at this and think this was an inevitable skirmish that's happening right now. Israel did the right thing by being proactive because Trump had been trying to work out a nuclear deal with Iran, and Iran was pretending, it seems, to be receptive of that nuclear deal, all while honestly dragging their feet to allow it to progress so that they could continue enriching uranium while pretending to be interested in a deal that they had no plans on following through. That's one side of the encampment. The other side of the encampment, of course, is you are anti-Israel because you view Israel as a warmongering country with despicable practices, always looking for an excuse to not only get into wars, but to also drag their allies like America into those wars with them. And so the other side looks at it and thinks, well, Iran was talking with Trump about a nuclear deal, and we don't know where that was going, and everything was peaceful until Israel just decided to strike, and they did so without Trump's knowledge, and this is unfair to America. And to be honest with you, both sides have some merit to them. That's where I'm at with this. Preserve Israelis as God instructs us to do. And you see that comment right there, that is absolutely what I'm talking about when it comes to generations. There is generational differences when it comes to support for Israel. And I somewhat believe in that comment personally. There's a reason why a country the size of New Jersey that has enemies surrounding it has been around for over 2,000 years despite constant attempts by all the countries around it to take it over. I do genuinely believe that God's will is involved in the preservation of Israel. And to some extent, I do believe, therefore, that people who are allied with Israel are probably better off. Regardless of my own personal take on it, like I stated earlier, millennials and Gen Zers are just sick of conflict in the Middle East. And it's exhausting to feel like America has to constantly step in and not only referee, but get involved in ways that involves our soldiers dying. Stay out of it as long as everyone else does. Stop the craziness will bring no peace for both. Why are you fighting anyway? USA will not get involved, please. We are done with people fighting domestically as well as got more problems to solve here in our country. If they want to fight, leave them alone. President Trump, it's like Ukraine and Russia fighting for what cause? Terrible. Stick to our own problems here. They just saw Israel as corrupt and picked that one. You know, honestly, I almost started believing that. I'm really not sure what the problem was with the poll answers. I do like to put up expressive poll answers to encourage people to vote. Maybe I did that to my own detriment on this one. I'm not quite sure. Both sides are rotten to the core. And see, here's a comment actually. So there is somebody here. Help Iran and Palestine. Let's take a look at the replies on that. Hell no. Preserve Israelis as God instructs us to do. Defeat Hamas in order to free Palestine. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And then this one too I want to address. Fake poll, fake poll, fake poll. With a reply under it. Yep. Constructed for particular bot results. I don't know anything about that. I literally make these polls in like 3 to 5 minutes. I don't spend too much time on them. I just like to put them up to get a feel for what my YouTube community is feeling about current events that are trending so that I can go on and make videos about them oftentimes. I did not alter this poll or any other poll in the past, nor will I in the future alter any polls for bot results. I honestly expected the third option to help Iran to be at the lowest percentage in all honesty. So there you have it. I personally am leaning towards somewhat helping Israel at the very least because as much as I want America to not be involved at all over there, I do think that there is a problem with Iran inherently. They're not our friends. They are absolutely our enemies. They absolutely hate us. They refer to us as Big Satan, and they were enriching uranium in an attempt to gain nuclear power in the form of an atom bomb. They are trying to do that, or at least they were. And so I think there is merit to the Israeli strikes on Iran for this reason. That's my own personal opinion on it. What are your thoughts? Should we leave it alone entirely? Should we help out Israel? Or I guess, according to this poll, do you honest to God, think we should help out Iran? Comment down below and subscribe to American Advocates for more shocking polls like this. And subscribe to make sure you stay up to date with all of the community postings I do. I post 5 to 7 polls a week on this channel, and I plan on making more videos like this where I cover the results. Thanks for watching.